I'm sure you have heard of Dave Ramsey, and if so, you may have heard of his concept of the 7 baby steps. When researching any topic about money or financial independence, we are hit with a stream of American YouTubers, and it is sometimes quite difficult to interpret what is a 401k or a Roth IRA, and although the information from this concept is extremely valuable, the specifics are mainly applicable to US citizens. So I'm going to break it down for us South Africans so that we can effectively use his framework to achieve financial freedom. And as I said on the Dave Ramsey show, maths works the same in any country. If you owe people money, you are in debt. Maths and the baby steps are international. Okay, so let's look at the baby steps. The most important aspect of this is the order in which they are set up. Baby step number 1, save 15,000 Rand as a start to your emergency fund. Save this in a high-yield savings account, which you can access at any time. This in itself can feel like a mammoth task for someone who has always struggled to save. For a lot of people, this could be the first time they are working towards a savings target and can feel pretty daunting in the beginning. This is why just starting on baby step 1 can put you ahead of most people you know. 15,000 Rand is enough to cover a small emergency, but still low enough to move on to step 2 quickly. If you are currently living paycheck to paycheck, then a good way to build this up quickly is to sell some stuff around the house, pick up some more overtime from work or get a second job, budget and stick to the plan, and to watch my previous video for a more detailed guide on how to fast track this process. Do not use this money to buy unnecessary stuff just because it is on sale. That is not an emergency. If you do have an emergency and you have to use all your emergency savings, then you have to stop where you are on the other steps and first top up your emergency savings again. So I know finances sometimes feel quite complicated, and I'm hoping that this can help simplify everything for you so that you can start or improve creating good financial habits, which will get you majority of the way there. Now remember, this is not financial advice, but merely financial education and financial information to help you become more responsible with your money and develop good financial habits. Baby step 2, pay off all debt other than your mortgage. Once you have saved up some money for your emergency fund, you need to attack your debt as fast as possible. Dave Ramsey's favorite method is called the debt snowball method. And while this works if you are a person who is incentivized by small wins, it doesn't make the most mathematical sense. The snowball method is when you pay off your smallest debt first by putting a specific amount of money towards that debt and continuing to pay the minimum balance on the rest of your debts every month. And then once that is paid off, continuing to put the amount of money you put to the first debt on top of the minimum balance of the debt with the second biggest outstanding balance until that is paid off, and so on. This method takes the advantage of human psychology over anything else, as seeing progress being made multiplies your motivation to continue. Another method, which is more logical to consider, is the avalanche method, where you pay off your debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance. This gives you an instant return of the 18 to 27% interest rate that you would have to pay on your debt owed, and is higher than what you would receive in the stock market. Taking control of your debt is the most powerful step to building wealth, as trying to grow wealth with debt dragging you down is similar to trying to drive a car with the handbrake in the upright position. You will move, but it will be slow and painful progress. And since South Africans use about 75% of their take-home pay each month just to pay off debt, this is a serious issue which needs to change. Baby step number 3, fully fund your emergency fund. This is 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. Now that you have no debt, you can stash this money towards your emergency savings. This is the pot of money that will protect you against loss of income or any other major expense that may unexpectedly come your way. The trick to building this up fast is to not forget about those payments that you are making towards your debt. Keep living off the money that you were living off, and now instead of paying off your debt, start putting this money to work for you. Now instead of working against you, this money will now be working for you as it compounds in the high yield savings account which you have opened. Yes, this seems like a lot of effort, but if you truly want to be successful financially, then you must invest in yourself and build good financial habits which will set you up for the rest of your life. The 3 to 6 month rule is widely accepted as best practice. Work out what you can live off each month by stripping away your luxuries and times that by 3 or 6, whatever works in your situation. The standard advice here is to aim for 3 to 4 months if you have a stable job and can also easily find a new job if you were to lose your income. If you are self-employed or work in a niche that is hard to pick up new work quickly, then I would recommend a 6-month emergency fund. I would recommend having 1/3 of your emergency savings in a bank interest account for instant access, and 2/3 of your emergency savings in a money market account or a money market unit trust, which will give you a higher interest rate but may take 2 to 3 days to withdraw. You need to choose the amount that you feel secure with if things were to go wrong. This allows you not to go into debt if your car were to break down, you were to lose your job, or unexpected medical expenses were to arise. So the remaining 4 steps can now be done at the same time and is much easier, as the main mind shift change to become wealthy has now already been developed, and so less thought and effort is required than the beginning 3 steps. You can now take your foot off the gas at this point in time, as you have already built the financial foundations and have certainly learned how to look after your finances. If you have found any value in this video so far, please like and subscribe so that you can see my future videos. Okay, so baby step 4 is to put 15% of your gross income towards investing. This is a percentage of the money that you earn monthly before taxes are paid. You should always prioritize your retirement savings first, as the government will not look after you one day, and you don't want to be an unnecessary burden on your family when you have to stop working. In America, this is where they talk about the 401ks and the Roth IRAs, which are the US versions to a retirement annuity, or a RA in South Africa. These are usually offered by your employer, but if you are self-employed, you can still contribute towards a RA through many brokerage sites. The money that you put into a retirement annuity also lower your taxable income, which means that you will pay less taxes and you will likely receive a tax refund from SARS. And the idea is that in retirement, this money will be taxed at a lower rate when you are able to withdraw it from the retirement fund and live off the money you have saved once you have stopped working. The 15% rule of thumb is effective in forcing you to put away money every month before it hits your bank account without even thinking about it. The first investment vehicle I would then consider is a tax-free savings account, as no taxes are paid on the growth of your investment and you can withdraw any amount at any time tax-free. And if you keep contributing to this investment and letting it grow, then the compounding effect will work over the long term. So do not sleep on this investment. It's easy to open an account on Easy Equities, and I would recommend investing in a broad index fund like the S&P 500. I would not keep my tax-free savings account at any of the banks, as the interest rate that they offer at these banks for a tax-free savings account is pretty much 0. After this, you can invest in discretionary investments and select individual stocks or invest in other index funds. But because you won't receive any tax advantages, this is why I don't recommend it first. Only if you're able to put away more than 15% of your income each month. Baby step 5, save for your children's university fund. If you want to help set your children up in future, then an easy way is to open a tax-free savings account in their name and start contributing towards it. This is limited to 36,000 Rand per tax year, but all growth and withdrawals will be tax-free. Baby step number 6, pay off your home or mortgage early. One of the common trends amongst millionaires is that they paid off their home early. A study shows that it was done in about 11 years compared to the normal 30 years. If you aim to overpay on your mortgage a little bit more each month, then you're working towards financial freedom. And on to the final baby step 7, is to build wealth and give. Dave states that at this stage in the plan, you're in a financial position to help others, as you have already sorted out your own finances and you can help other people who are less fortunate than you. The amount is not important, but the act of giving is liberating. If you are interested, you can donate to a SARS non-profit public benefit organization, where it has special approval by SARS that any of the donations it receives will not be taxed, up to a limit of 10% of your taxable income. But the concept of giving is not to do it in a way that necessarily benefits you. Dave's old school approach to money management works regardless of what country you are in, and having any money management system at all will give you a systematic approach which you can use to improve your financial position. Even if this isn't the system that you want to use, there are elements which you can take away and apply to your financial life, setting you up to be ahead of more than 95% of your peers. Subscribe for more personal finance tips and information to invest in yourself. See you in the next one.